Digital India Act is expected to be a landmark legislation that will shape the future of the Indian digital economy. Between two religions, between two communities, between two groups, social media acts as a flame. For example, the biggest ministry in this country, in government sector, which gives maximum employment to the people, which is that?
Struggling to stay consistent in your UPSC prep? Feeling lost in the vast syllabus and drowning in current affairs? You're not alone. But here's the truth. Cracking UPSC isn't about studying harder. It's about studying smarter. The UPSC journey can feel like a mountain. Vast syllabus, unpredictable current affairs and intense competition. But with the right strategy and expert guidance, you can conquer it step by step. At Vision IS Delhi, we don't just teach. We mentor, guide and simplify your preparation. Structured syllabus coverage, prelims, main CSAT and essay, covered in a streamlined, easy-to-flow approach. Current affairs without the hassle. Our PT 365 and Mains 365 programs ensure you stay updated without confusion. One-on-one mentorship. Get personalized guidance to strengthen weak areas and enhance your strengths. Regular test and feedback. Track progress, analyze mistakes and improve consistently with our expert evaluations. Your UPSC dream deserves clarity and direction. We're here to provide both. Upcoming batches start in Karol Bagh from March 4th at 2 p.m., 11 March at 5 p.m., 13 March at 11 a.m. and 18 March at 8 a.m. and in GTB Nagar from 25th March at 8 a.m. Register now on our website or call us on the given numbers. Let's turn confusion into confidence and make your UPSC dream a reality together.
UPSC preparation is not just about reading books or watching online lectures. It requires personal guidance, real discussions, and structured practice. This is where offline mentoring makes all the difference. Unlike online learning, where doubts often remain unresolved, offline mentoring offers direct interaction, real-time feedback, and an environment of discipline and competition. One-to-one sessions help students get tailored advice, strategy corrections, and focused improvement. Every aspirant has different strengths and weaknesses. Personal mentoring helps address them effectively. Ground discussions sharpen analytical thinking and help students develop a multi-dimensional perspective on issues crucial for prelims, mains, and interview. Elocution sessions help in personality development, clarity of thought, and confidence, essential for UPSC interviews. Test writing is the most crucial part of UPSC preparation. It helps in time management, structuring answers, and improving content quality. Offline mentoring is not just about teaching. It's about grooming future officers with the right guidance, discipline, and confidence. So if you are preparing for UPSC, make sure you have the right mentor by your side.
The second topic of the day, which is big tech companies. So big tech companies, regulation, how the big tech companies are regulated. So big tech firms refer to large technology companies that dominate their respective sectors, wielding significant influence and control over digital platform and services. These companies typically operate in a global level. So they are multinational, global companies. Nowadays, multinational companies exercise so much of power that they influence the public policies of various countries also. For example, during COVID-19, some of the pharma companies which were manufacturing the COVID-19 vaccine, they were able to alter the public policies of African countries. They were able to influence because they were not having COVID-19, people were dying. So they said, all right, it's a give and take. You scratch my back, I will scratch yours. You allow the United States or some countries bases to be formed in your country. Only then we will give you COVID-19 vaccines. So this is the influence. These companies typically operate on a global scale and are characterized by their immense market capitalization, extensive user base, and diverse portfolio of products and services. Examples of big tech companies, they have a huge capitalization. So which are the example? Cipla, okay. Yeah, supply is there definitely. But then, yeah, Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft. They are the big wigs, big tech companies. So Google controls the majority of online search traffic and digital advertising revenue. Amazon is e-commerce and cloud computing. Apple is iPhone, iPad and MacBook. Facebook is Meta, leads the social media landscape. And Microsoft is the software, hardware and cloud services. They are the big tech companies. Most the bigger ones. There are many others. Some of the pharma companies are also very big tech companies. So why regulate big tech? Because there is an arbitrary pricing. Big tech's influence on pricing rules in the digital space leads to concerns about fairness and competition. So there is arbitrary pricing because there is a monopoly, literally monopoly, and they have a huge base across countries. It is not limited to only one country. And there is a regulatory vacuum. So challenges faced by regulators in keeping pace with the rapid technological innovation. The way the innovation is taking place in Facebook or Google, the regulators are no match for them. They are not able to keep pace with them. It is only reactory. It is not proactive. Only when something happens, then the government say, oh, this is happening. And then, for example, Facebook utilizes the entire data and sells it to the other people. And then people realize, oh, this is happening. Or the entire data is stored somewhere else in the world over which the Indian government has no control. So that is why they said, no, you must keep that data in servers here in this country. So data localization, etc., these things have come. So the challenges faced by regulators is there. And third is data collection and privacy concerns. So big tech's extensive data collection practices raise privacy concern, surveillance and data security. It is said that Google, unless you switch off that particular setting, it follows you everywhere. It knows everything about you, where you have been, what time, what date, whom you have talked, where you have met. It literally takes control of your life. So that is the big tech companies which they have got. So the key regulatory framework in India, one is the IT rules 2021 and amendments. So these rules aim to regulate intermediaries, including social media platforms, digital news publishers and OTT platforms. So the one is the IT rules 2021. We are talking about key regulatory framework. And they address issues like content moderation, grievance redressal, traceability of originators of information, who had started off that information. So that is dealt with by IT rules. They have been constantly need to be amended because the way innovation is taking place in these big tech companies, it is difficult to keep pace with those innovations. What is disruptive technology? What is disruptive technology? Technology which literally affects our day-to-day life. It's disruptive. Like social media is there, internet is there, mobile phone is there, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. These are all disruptive technologies which literally disrupts our life. It changes the way we perform. So these big tech companies bring in the disruptive technology. They address issues like content moderation, etc. Key aspects is it mandates for appointing grievance officers. So what is the key aspect of IT rules? IT rules in India, they mandate for appointing grievance officers. So if anyone has got a grievance, he or she can approach to the grievance officers. Due diligence required for intermediaries. So if there are intermediaries, then due diligence is required for intermediaries. Then classification of social media intermediaries and additional due diligence for significant social media intermediaries. So these are some technical words which are there. which are part of the IT rules, and also OTT content. The significance is they represent a significant step towards holding digital platforms accountable for the content they host. So Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever content they are hosting. Nowadays we have a new university which is called as WhatsApp University, because that is people say that, oh, तो WhatsApp पर आया था, so it must be something reliable. But unfortunately that is not so. So WhatsApp University is playing havoc in the lives of the people. So therefore the content they are offering is becoming very significant. And so they represent a significant step, these rules, towards digital platforms accountable, and amendments continue to address evolving challenges like deepfakes, online gaming. So the amendment to the IT rules. So one of the important rules is IT rules 2021 and its amendments. That is one way to control these big tech companies in this country. Is clear? Second is Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP, 2023. This act establishes a comprehensive framework for the protection of personal data in India. It aims to balance individual rights with the need for data processing for legitimate purposes. So the key aspects of this act is it defines personal data and data principle. These are some of the matter of details. You will have this this PPT, so you will be able to this, but just understand the concept here. The details you can look up at the PPT. It is basically digital personal data protection. The focus is to establish a comprehensive framework for the protection of personal data. Many times if you go to the departmental store, they will ask you about your mobile number. Now, why do they ask for mobile number? Because that builds into their database, and then they sell that information to many people. That is why sometimes you will receive call suddenly out of this, sir, we have got this new scheme which is there, and you go, or you come to our place. So this is the data protection. So you don't have to give your mobile phone whenever they ask for your mobile phone, because the purpose is that they sell that information. Many times I receive a call from insurance company and saying that this health insurance is there and this, that. And I ask them, from where did you get my number? And they giggle, they don't say, but that is because they purchase these numbers, information, data from. So Airtel sells their information, Jio sells the information, whichever wants to purchase that information. Same thing happens with big tech companies also, Facebook and Google, they all sell their information. So the Data Protection Act has been made. So it is a crucial piece of legislation that will significantly impact how the business deal with personal data. Third is Competition Act, which you were mentioning, Competition Act, and role of CCI. What was the earlier name for CCI? MRTP Act. If you look at the history, it was Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. Now it is made as Competition Commission of India. So the focus is the Competition Act aims to prevent anti-competitive practices and promote fair competition in the market. So if you bring down the rates to such a level that nobody else survives, that is called as predatory tendencies. And it is certainly, the Competition Act is attracted. So the CCI is a regulatory body, and it provides, prohibits anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position. Abuse of dominant position and combination that cause an appreciable adverse effect on competition. This is that Jio, because Jio has got very deep pockets, huge money. They can survive even if they sell the data free of cost, which they did for such a long time. Others were not able to survive. So they had to leave. And then, because of the deep pockets, it survived, and then it started increasing the data prices now. But by that time, all the companies had gone, barring 2-3 companies which were left. So CCI investigates big tech companies. So CCI plays a vital role in ensuring a level playing field. It is vital to the prevention of monopolies. Then there is a draft Digital India Act expected 2025. This proposed act aims to replace the outdated Information Technology Act 2000. A new act is likely to come 2025, which will replace the old act. It seeks to create a comprehensive legal framework for the digital economy. So the aspects which are expected, because it has not come, broader scope to cover emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, Internet of Things. There are so many developments which are taking place. Who expected ChatGPT to come? And when ChatGPT came, Google was suddenly alerted, because Google could not take lead in that. And then Google had to immediately come with Bard or Gemini, because you cannot survive if the technology is moving at such fast pace that if you do not remain up to date, you will lose the game. You will be literally evicted. And this is what happened in the case of one mobile company, BlackBerry and Nokia. Nokia was evicted because Nokia, you know the history of Nokia? It's a beautiful, interesting history. Nokia started off as a paper and pulp factory in 1887. But it was so innovative that very soon they realized that there is a lot of scope for rubber. So they moved lock, stock and barrel from paper and pulp factory to rubber. And from rubber, they went on to computer monitors. And from computer monitors, they went to cable wiring. Look at the innovation. And in 1980s, the top management of Nokia realized that there was a huge scope in wireless communication. And they switched over to wireless communication, the mobiles. They produced the best mobiles in the world. They remained the world leader for literally 10 to 12 years. But then something happened. A new CMD, Chairman Managing Director, had come and occupied the place in Nokia, a new CMD. And he was so happy with the progress, and he said, we have already reached the top. Nobody can replace us. He became complacent. And he said, Nokia is the world leader. Nokia was connecting people. You remember that was the symbol? Connecting people. And he said, nobody can replace us. He became very, very complacent. But then times were changing. And two technological innovations took place at that point of time, which the new CMD did not follow. What was that? Yeah. So one was the touch screen and smartphone, which Apple and Samsung, they immediately brought in. And what was the second one? What was the second innovation which Nokia did not adopt? It was Android system. Nokia stuck to Symbian platform, and Android system had become much more user friendly, which was adopted by Samsung. And the result was people fell in love with Android system and touch screen and smartphones. And Nokia was literally thrown out of the market. And then the second thing, example which you were saying was? Pardon? No. What was the second example where a company was thrown out of market? BlackBerry was there, yes, but in some other field also. Pardon? Max. No, I was not. I was saying that some other technological innovation. some other product, not mobile phone. Mm, that was also there, yeah. But the more glaring example was Kodak cameras. Kodak cameras were based on films. You remember films used to be purchased. We used to purchase films, carry number of rolls, and Kodak camera based on gelatin-based films, which were to be developed in a camera shop. It was selling like hotcakes. But then digital cameras came. And Kodak did not adopt digital. They said, no, no, we are reached the top. We will be the top world leader. And then they were thrown out. The same thing happened in the case of a watch. No, much before that. Smartwatches come only recently. One particular company which was manufacturing the best watches. शादी में उस वॉच को HMT शादी में HMT दूल्हा जो था वो HMT वॉचेस मांगता था कि हमको HMT वॉच चाहिए. It was so well made. But then Titan came, which was based on a new technology, and HMT went away. Same thing happened to a car. Ambassador cars were thrown out the moment Maruti Suzuki came. So this is how you have to live up to the changes which are taking place. That is why the branch of management which deals with this is change management. You have to adopt the change, otherwise you will be thrown out of the market. So what I'm trying to say is that this new act, which is going to replace the old act, it will deal with data governance, cyber security, artificial intelligence, and so on. Many aspects will be dealt with. Digital India Act is expected to be a landmark legislation that will shape the future of the Indian digital economy. And so then these are only the details of what we have just now said. IT rules 2021 and amendments. I will leave this. You will be able to, the grievances officers, action against fake news, and that will be a part of your IT rules. So social media intermediaries, which we have just now talked about. Similarly, the details I will skip it because you can read it from the act. Okay, so then I would Competition Commission of India. Just example I wanted to give you. Google was fined 1,338 crores of rupees by Competition Commission of India in 2022 for anti-competitive practices. So the abuse of dominant market positions. So Google practice related to its Android mobile operating system, where the CCI found that Google had leveraged its dominance to unfairly promote its own apps and services and not the other apps. So this ruling shows that CCI's willingness to take action even against the largest global tech companies. Apple, Amazon also under scrutiny for App Store and e-commerce policies. So the CCI is actively investigating Apple's App Store policies regarding mandatory use of its own payment system and its commission fees. Apple is very, very conservative, and it does not allow any intrusion from outside. So that is why Apple is also known for its very great security also. So, but then CCI found that it is promoting its own app store rather than all other apps. Amazon also came under its e-commerce practices, specifically concerning alleged preferential treatment of certain sellers and its private label business. In fact, this is nowadays also, for example, Blinkit has come under litigation because people believe that it is killing the market, the general market, the shopkeepers, the vegetable owners, all those people, because they supply at your doorstep within 10 minutes. And now another has come after Blinkit. Yeah. So therefore, obviously these do play a part of monopoly. So these are big tech companies which do play. So Amazon and you know something, now a new concept has come, which is called as aggregators. What is an aggregator? Can you be specific, more specific? Give an example. They aggregate. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Correct, correct, correct. So aggregator aggregates the demands of the people and accordingly meets their demands. And it does not own any infrastructure as such. It only gets the goods and services from different people. It aggregates the demands of the consumers and meets the demand. One aggregator which you use every day, huh? Google. Okay, Google Workspace. Can you be slightly more specific, which you use on daily basis? Hmm. That also is there. Yes, correct. That also is there. But another example where you move from your home to your office, how do you go? Uber and Ola. They don't have any taxis of their own. Taxis are owned by private people. They only aggregate the demands of the people and direct those private Ola people to take the taxi to that place. So this is very cheap. It's an aggregator. Similarly, the food delivery system at home also, which is Zomato and others. Yeah, Swiggy. Amazon is an aggregator. Yes, Amazon is an aggregator. Flipkart is an aggregator. Yes. So these investigations indicate CCI's focus. There are many pending cases against Meta and WhatsApp on data privacy concerns also. So CCI is examining the Meta data sharing practices between Facebook and WhatsApp. And these cases highlight the intersection of data privacy. And it is concerned about the abuse of dominant position. So that is again under scrutiny. And this 2025 Act, this is called as Digital India Act. So this will replace the old act and take care of the focus on AI, deep fakes, cyber threats, etc. It is more accountability for big tech companies now in India. So the international regulations, there are some case studies which I had collected. EU Digital Markets Act and Digital Services Act, which focuses on gatekeepers to ensure fair competition. It prohibits certain anti-competitive practices. So that is done in the EU. EU is the biggest example of globalization. How? Yeah. They have even a parliament. EU parliament is there. And they have tariffs, the easy movement of goods, same currency, same passport. What is the name? Name of the same visa. What is the name of that visa? Shenzhen, absolutely. So the same visa, same tariff and same currency. So that EU has got its Digital Markets Act and Digital Services Act. So DSA is also there. So this particular DSA is Digital Services Act of EU. So that also focuses on content moderation. And then you have United States antitrust laws, and ongoing cases are going on against Google and Amazon. So US also is addressing the potential monopolies. And cases against Amazon focus on alleged anti-competitive practices on e-commerce. So US has a long history of antitrust enforcement. So this is just to show that big tech companies are so powerful that they have literally made way into every aspect of the lives of the people. And they are becoming more powerful than the government themselves. And that is why when the prime ministers go to United States or other countries, these are the people they meet, Zuckerberg and Pichai and Gates. So they are very powerful people. So big tech companies, good in innovation, good in design, and a lot of creativity, and that is the result that the government of the day anywhere is not able to proactively do it. It is only reactive. Something happens and then sometimes someone points out and then they follow behind. China also has got its tax crackdown. So everyone is talking about it. So balancing challenges and future outlook, balancing innovation and regulation. On one hand, innovation is required. Or on the other hand, regulation is also required. Innovation, because ultimately the artificial intelligence, the blockchain, all these are results of innovation. And we are literally now moving towards robots. And Gates has warned, in fact, that almost every activity will be taken over by robots in due course of time. So we need regulation also. So this is a fundamental challenge. Over-regulation can stifle innovation and hinder the growth. But a lack of regulation can lead to abuses, because everyone is not as ethical as Tatas. Tatas are regarded as very, very ethical company, but everyone is not like that. So people do not serve the obligation to the society. What is it called? A corporate entity must work on 3 P's. It has a responsibility for 3 P's. Can you tell me what those 3 P's are there? Yes, absolutely correct. People, profit, and planet. So profit is the responsibility towards the shareholders. People, they have got a social obligation, for example, in providing employment, providing education, and development. And third is planet. So responsibility towards environment. So that is the 3 P's. So economic responsibility, social responsibility, environmental responsibility. So these big tech companies also have responsibility, but everyone is not like Tata's, and therefore regulations are necessary. So ensuring compliance without stifling startups. So big tech regulations can disproportionately affect small companies. If you have too much of regulation, the big people will not suffer. They will be able to easily find a way out. But the small fish, they will suffer. So therefore you cannot have too much of regulation also. So global coordination is necessary. Big tech companies operate globally, making it difficult for individual countries to regulate them. After all, Google operates throughout the world. Global coordination is very essential. This can involve international cooperation and data protection. What are the global problems that we are facing right now? Tell me. Global issues. What was that? Pardon? Climate change, yes, climate change is there. Reciprocal tariff, yes, correct. Ongoing wars and conflicts, correct. Russia-Ukraine war and others. What others? Recession in the economy. What else? Come on, there are many others. Global warming, yeah, climate change, global warming. Terrorism, drugs, migration, refugees, poverty, hunger, depletion of natural resources. So there are a large number of COVID-19, pandemics, AIDS. These are all examples. And that is why beautiful words which were said by one of the former Secretary Generals of United Nations. His name is Kofi Annan. You might have heard the name of Kofi Annan. And he said, as Secretary United General, he said, right now we have problems without passports. So he said, problems without passports require solutions without passports. What do you understand by this? Problems without passports require solutions without passports. Yeah. So he said that nowadays we have problems which may occur in one part of the world, but it does not require passport to travel to another part of the world, like climate change, COVID-19, AIDS, drugs, terrorism. They don't require any passport. They simply travel, they affect, they have a ripple effect. And therefore, this needs to be tackled by all the people coming together without passports. All the countries must come for mutual cooperation. This globe, these big tech companies need to be regulated by all the minds have to be applied together. Like climate change, there is a body called IPCC. What is that? Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, where scientists from all countries sit together, almost 1,000 scientists, and they work to find out what is happening on this climate front. So the global coordination. So the regulation of big tech companies in India is a critical endeavor. The immense power these companies wield necessitates a robust framework to safeguard data privacy, fair competition, and protect democratic values. And these are some of the IT rules, DPDP Act, the Digital India Act, which and CCI's enforcement. So these things have to be, but the challenge is immense. So let me sum it up. This particular topic, that is
Stop wasting hours on scattered current affairs preparation. Visionized Digital Current Affairs Premium gives you AI-powered answers, expert feedback, and structured revision all in one place. Instant AI answers, no more endless searches, get precise syllabus-aligned insights in seconds. Daily answer writing, expert feedback to sharpen your mains responses. Quick notes and highlights, organize, revise, and retain key concepts effortlessly. Plus, free features. Daily news summaries from the Hindu and Indian Express, quizzes and MCQs to test your progress, and downloadable PDFs for seamless revision. Study smarter, not harder. To know more, visit our website now.
Yeah. So let me just summarize this particular thing which we have discussed. So why this big tech is in news? Because National Company Law Appellate Tribunal granted a stay on the 5-year ban on Meta by Competition Commission of India. So the Competition Commission of India, they passed an order for a 5-year ban, but the National Companies Law Appellate Tribunal stayed that order. So Competition Commission of India in November 2024 imposed a fine of 213 crores and forced several behavioral remedies on Meta. This included a 5-year ban on sharing user data collected on WhatsApp with other Meta companies such as Facebook and Instagram for advertising purposes. So they said that even if the company belongs to you, you cannot share data. The WhatsApp data cannot be shared to other companies like Facebook and Instagram for advertising purposes. So the big tech companies are also known as tech giants or tech titans, widely defined as the most prosperous and most influential technological companies in the IT industries. They include the following: Alphabet, Google, Apple, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and others. Big five, the above thing, earned income of about $197 billion on revenue of more than $1 trillion in 2020, while their market capitalization rose to $7.5 trillion by this year's end. So this is the magnitude of these companies. Immense. They are like a separate country. So the role of big tech companies is, number one, national security. Definitely, because a lot of data is stored on this. Geopolitical issues, economic issues, cultural issues, political issues, societal issues, technological issues, environmental issues, and governance issues. So this big tech companies impact upon all these factors. And how do they do that? Economic. They provide goods and services. They have large market capitalization. They provide skilled employment and collect vast amount of data. For example, Apple's market value alone is greater than the entire GDP of Canada, Russia, or Spain in 2021. That is the magnitude of the revenue data. Cultural. Products and services shape global communication norms, expose users to values implicit in technology. Example, social media platforms. So the second is cultural. The entire culture is now taken over by the social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and many others. So they have literally taken over. The entire society is getting affected because of social media. Australia has imposed something. What has it done? Yeah, they have brought out a legislation that kids below the age of 16 years, they cannot view the social media because they feel that the cultural changes which are occurring because of the exposure to the social media is adversely affecting the children of our age. Third is societal. Social media and public opinion platform influence the harmony between people. For example, between two religions, between two communities, between two groups, social media acts as a flame, which inflames the sentiments of people. That is why many places, when there is a law and order situation, government stop the internet operations because the social media acts as a spreader of the feelings of hatred amongst different communities. So it has an societal. Social media were linked to the Arab Spring protests also. Political, these affect the voter choice. For example, it affects polarization. So the social media was used in the 2014 election, if you remember. And later on now, every political party uses social media to attract its voters. They will talk about their manifestos, they will attract youth, they will attract women through the social media. So they have this political dimensions also. Is it clear or not? One is the economic. They have got the huge amount of data, marketability. Number two is they affect the global communication system, culture. And third is they affect the society. They change the viewpoint. For example, if social media promotes live-in relationships, then people get convinced, yeah, live-in relationship is a good thing, or same-sex marriage. So they are acting as a big influencers, social media. So it has an effect on the society. I don't know whether any one of you have seen an OTT film called Adolescence. Anyone? Have a look at the Adolescence. It's an OTT series. It talks about a small child, how he gets affected by the social media and then he commits murder. So it has an effect, the social media. That is why Australia had to bring in a legislation for that. So economic, cultural, societal, political, technological. So the innovation, the big tech companies are involved in creativity and innovation. For example, IoT, artificial intelligence, they were all by the big tech companies only. Because they have a lot of money for research and development. That money is not available elsewhere. They have a huge manpower. They encourage creativity and innovation. Other companies may not, they don't have so much. Even a failure is celebrated in these companies. How? For example, you remember the famous case that Thomas Alva Edison, who invented a bulb. And when he was asked that you have failed 1000 times, don't you think it was a big failure? He said, no. I was able to at least deduce that those 1000 metals, they cannot be used to make a bulb. And therefore, I proceeded again and I found tungsten. So that is how these big tech companies, they reward failures. Okay, no problem, you failure next time. So this is how they encourage innovation. They allow brainstorming, lot of brainstorming. And environmental. Now they require a lot of energy, isn't it? The system requires huge energy. So they have an effect on the carbon footprint all over the world. For example, Amazon produced 16 million metric tons of carbon dioxide. So they have an environmental angle because a lot of power is used, electricity is used, which produces carbon. National security, they have an impact on national security because sometimes it can be, data can be misused. So therefore, platforms enable the spread of misinformation and extremist views. People use these social media, which has been created by these big tech companies also, only to misuse. Social media is the cheapest mode of conveying. If you go to an electronic media or a print media, you have to purchase space there to advertise. If you have to go to electronic media, again you have to advertise, pay money. Social media is free. You don't require any money. And you can, the spread is immediate. In a second, nanosecond, the spread is to the entire world. So this is the most powerful weapon nowadays available. And geopolitical. So the technology, sovereignty and decoupling to reduce dependency on each other. So such as semiconductor. So there is a technology, geopolitical issues also, technology sovereignty. Once you get the technology, then you are sovereign and you can play with the countries. I told you that one of the pharma companies, they blackmailed a country, African country, that if you want to purchase our vaccine, then this is the thing we demand. So it's a technological sovereignty and decoupling to reduce dependency on each other for critical technologies. So, and governance. These big tech companies play a very important part in the governance. For example, who plays a very important part in Trump administration? Huh? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is again having a big tech company. Adani and Ambani here, they play an important part. Google plays a very important part. So all these play a very important part. So challenges, there are many challenges. One which we have discussed, data privacy. Google was fined in 2022. The monopolistic tendencies. Therefore, a number of companies were fined by the CCI. Platform neutrality. So big tech platforms operate as gatekeepers, controlling access to key digital markets. For example, 90% market share in search, Google is there. So Google acts as a gateway. Huh? Pardon? Google karo, yeah. Prime Minister also is very fond of saying Google Baba. So he says everything is available in Google Baba. So the search, the Google has that monopoly. Neutrality. So the challenges are there. The size of digital infrastructure is so huge. Amazon Web Services, 30% of the cloud computing. The cloud computing services, Amazon, 30%. Can you name that official cloud of Government of India? Cloud is where you store data. What is the name of the official cloud of the Government of India? Something similar to the name cloud. Now you tell me, this is a hint. In Hindi, बादल नजदीक है बादल के. It's called मेघराज. मेघ is बादल, मेघराज राजा है उनका. So the official cloud of Government of India is called as मेघराज. So the cloud-based Amazon is the leader. Tax avoidance, these companies also avoid. Lot of tax evasion is there. Clashes with national policies. This is what I was telling you. They influence the national policies. Facebook is now in a position to influence, literally blackmail. Google is in a position to blackmail. Microsoft is able, Apple, because they are giants. The prime ministers of the countries have to, go and literally seek audience with these people because they have become too big for their boots. And then there are global regulations all over the world. So big tech companies operate globally, but in every country they have to comply with the local laws. So they have to do compliance. Political. So big tech companies affect the vested interest, lobbying. So in invested countries particularly, lobbying is a very important concept. So since they are very powerful, just like in India, it is something like Baba Ram Rahim, who is very influential in lobbying. Governments approach these Babas because they have a lot of following. Similarly, these big tech companies, they have their very important intervention politically. And ethical concerns, so abuse of dominant position and unethical practices. As I told you, everyone is not like Tata or Birla or Wipro. So there are many unethical practices which go on. So these are which we have already talked about: Competition Act, Consumer Protection Act, Digital Personal Data Act, IT Act, Information Technology Act, globally USA Act, Antitrust Act, European Union Act, etc. We have already talked about. So I will skip that. CCI we have already talked about. Then this tribunal has stayed. The appeals against that lie to the National Tribunal, and recently they stayed an order. And the way forward is that we must have standing committees on finance recommendations, which there are many topics. So we must, anti-regulations act should be some monopolized. So the competition behavior needs to be evaluated. Digital gatekeepers, Digital Competition Act, proper data usage. There are many aspects to that way forward, and you can read that. Citizen participation, redressal, etc. So the conclusion is, regulating big tech companies require a dynamic, proactive approach that addresses data exploitation, monopolistic behavior, and global compliance issues. India must strengthen its ex-ante regulations, promote interoperability, and enhance cross-border cooperation. Cross-border cooperation means we must cooperate with other countries because it is a problem not restricted to the borders. It's a problem without passports. It requires solutions without passports. That's all I wanted to say. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer that.
Preparing on your own for UPSC Civil Services Examination 2026? Do you ever feel lost, overwhelmed, or unsure if you're on the right track? But what if you had a mentor, someone to guide you and provide a focused strategy for success? Mentorship is not just about solving doubts, it's about keeping you on track, pushing you to achieve your full potential. With Lakshya Integrated Mentoring Program 2026, you don't have to navigate this journey alone. From one-on-one mentorship and customized study plans to doubt-solving sessions, make your preparation efficient, effective, and goal-driven with unique features like comprehensive syllabus coverage, daily current affairs integration, and smart revision strategies. Focus on CSAT preparation and quick revision classes, advanced answer writing sessions, essay preparations, and ethics value addition. Digital current affairs premium with vision and intelligence for current affairs preparation. Confidence boosting personality test guidance and elocution sessions. Join the program today and take control of your UPSC journey. Batch starts on 31st March. To know more or to register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
social media can help in promotion of some policies, formation of policies. Right now, it's not so. Yeah, very good question. You see, the policy making is done by two people, two group of people. One is called official actors, the other is unofficial actors. Official actors, who are they? The Prime Minister, the ministers, the bureaucrats, the legislators, the judiciary. And which are the unofficial actors? The pressure groups, the interest groups, the media, the farmers union, the industries union, advocacy coalitions. They are the unofficial. They all operate through social media. So social media, whenever a government forms policy, it must also take into account the views of the unofficial actors, the media, the pressure groups, the interest groups. For example, for Swachh Bharat, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was also taken up by some NGOs. Women's empowerment was also taken up by NGOs. But those days, old days, we did not have social media. But now we have social media. In fact, to tell you, government departments and ministries, they play a very important part. For example, the biggest ministry in this country, in government sector, which gives maximum employment to the people, which is that? Which is that ministry which gives maximum employment, which has got maximum workforce? Railways. And railways has got the most powerful social media. The Facebook and the Twitter handle, every day people are on the listening watch, finding out what people have to say. If someone says your platforms are dirty, your air conditioner is not working, the trains are getting late, the food quality is bad, immediately they take notice of it. I remember, since you have raised a very pertinent point, there was a Shatabdi train which was going and the food was getting served. You know, food is getting served. At the end of the journey, when the train was about to reach, so what happens? Those waiters, they carry their trays with elaichi and sauf, etc., and they collect some bakshish from the people. I'm sure all of you must have given 5 rupees, 10 rupees. One of the passengers, he took umbrage to it. And he says, why? I have paid money in the ticket. Why is he demanding money? He took a photograph, clicked a photograph, sent it on the social media. By the time the train reached the destination, 20,000 rupees security of the contractor was forfeited by the Ministry of Railways. This is the effect of social media. So the public policy, if the government comes to know that there are platforms which are advocating for same-sex marriage, in fact, they serve a very useful purpose in collecting lot of data and examining the legal aspect, the religious aspect. For example, same-sex marriage, it has got a legal aspect. What can be the legal aspect? For example, who will be the husband and who will be the wife? You know? So there are many complications. So therefore, legal aspects are there, cultural aspects are there in same-sex marriage. Culture does not allow that. Social aspects are there. So one has to examine all these points. Now, who examines this? The government does it. But government requires help from two other entities, the civil society and the stakeholders. The social media is used by the civil society and the stakeholder to project its views to the government because it is cheap, it is quick, and therefore the policies are made by the government nowadays, keeping in view the social media feedback which they receive from the people. It plays a very important part. And Sushma Swaraj was the minister. She always was very close to the social media. People used to report that they are having difficulty in getting passport or visa, and she would go out of the way to ensure that they are given. So the public policies are framed and altered and modified because the government of the day cannot insulate itself from the social media. So the answer to your question is yes, the public policies of the state are very much influenced by the social media, which is being used by the unofficial actors, which supplement the efforts of the government in coming out with their different viewpoints, different options, which are used by the government. Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you very much. It was lovely interacting with all of you. We'll meet some other day next time. And I would like to see all of you becoming a civil servant. Go with that fire inside you that you have to become a civil servant. No service in this country can match civil service. You will realize once you join civil service, what is the challenge which you are. Every day will be a new challenge. The kind of creativity, the kind of new things you will be able to do for the people of this country. And it will bring a lot of satisfaction and solace to you. So even if you have to work for 8 hours a day, if you work for 8 hours a day, I can tell you, you will succeed. 1.5 hours preparation it requires, that's all. But read 8 hours, sleep 8 hours, and 8 hours go and interact with people who know more than you, and meet professors, meet some of the old successful people who have succeeded in civil services. And don't let people tell you that civil service is full of problems, pressures, pulls. It's all humbug. Civil services are the best services. And there is no such thing like pressure from politicians. And believe me, politicians, people blame politicians. Politicians are very good people. Yes, if you are unethical, then they will not excuse you in any way. But if you are moving on the right direction, in the right way, they will respect you also. And every day, as I said, will bring a new, unique experience to you, which you will not get in any other service. So prepare for it, get into the service. Let it not be IAS, let it be IRS, let it be IF. Every service is equal. And then you can take extraordinary leave and prepare for the next service. But do it, don't leave it. There are so many attempts nowadays available. And that is primarily, it is the best service.